Hello, my name's Pauline and I'm a British Wheel of Yoga teacher. I've been asked to make this video as part of Falls Awareness Week. This video is only to be used through the Stop Falling, Start Living YouTube channel and is not for copying. To participate, you'll need a sturdy chair. And please wear either comfortable shoes, rippy socks, or you could have bare feet, just so we can be more aware of the movement in our toes. Please check that your feet touch the ground, and if they don't, you might want a block or something else, but we'll move that to the side later on when we come further forward on our chairs. So today we'll be starting with a simple breath practice, mobilizing the body, building up to a seated sun salutation. We shall do some eye exercises and finishing off with a seated relaxation. So we're just going to start off tuning into our breath. So you can sit comfortably on your chair with your knees hip distance apart. Palms can rest in your lap, on your thighs, however's comfortable for you. So we'll just do a few little shoulder rolls. Let go of tension. And we want a little bit of tone in the abdominal area, just above our tummies, to help support our backs as we sit. Try not to be entirely reliant on the back of your chair to keep you upright. Okay, so I'd like you to either close your eyes or have a soft gaze and just notice your natural breathing. Notice when you breathe in and when you breathe out. And you might be able to notice that as you breathe in, there's a very subtle lift in the chest. And as we breathe out, that returns to its resting position. So just notice this subtle lift in the chest and allow it to return to its resting position. So I'll be quiet for a few seconds while you tune into your breath a little more. So we're going to allow this movement of our breath to continue, but we're going to start to exaggerate it slightly, if that's appropriate for you to do. So as we inhale, our hearts will naturally lift, but we're just going to accentuate that a little more, if that's appropriate for your spine. And as we exhale, let it return to its normal position. So inhale, raising the heart center slightly. Exhale, let it rest. Inhale, raising the heart center. And exhale, let it rest. And be aware that you can rest any time you need to through today's practice. So we're going to build this movement even more. We're going to place our hands on our thighs. And as we inhale, the heart will lift and we'll slide the hands forwards towards our knees. As we exhale, allow the heart and the back to come back a little. Slide the hands towards your hips So inhale, sliding the hands forwards. Exhale, sliding them back. So your spine is moving forwards and back with your breath. We're going to grow this movement even more, but if you have osteoporosis or kyphosis, you may choose not to grow the movement anymore and just stay at the previous stage. So as we inhale, we can take the arms wide and a gentle look up, not very far. As we exhale, we're going to curve the back and bring the backs of the hands together. And turn the thumbs together. Inhale, lead from the thumbs, taking the arms softly to your sides. Exhale, turn the palms, bring the backs of the hands together. And turn your palms once more. So we just keep this movement going. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. And then return the hands to your thighs and rest a moment. So next we're going to move on to our hands. You can use both hands at the same time, or if you prefer to work with one hand and then the other, that's fine. If you have arthritis and your joints are inflamed at the moment, then it might be better if you allow them to rest instead today. So we're going to rest the fingers down and then bring the hands up in a stop position. Take the hands down and bring them up. And you can, of course, just support one hand, holding below the elbow, or you can have the hands resting on your thighs. Next, we're going to do wrist circles, and you can either be working with one wrist at a time, or both wrists together. So, circling the wrists around one way. And then the other way. And again, if this isn't comfortable for you, then just don't do it. And we're going to try spreading the fingers and come on spreading the fingers until this. And the other way, spread the fingers, spread the fingers. So our next movement is going to be playing the imaginary piano to really get our fingers moving. So you can have the elbows in towards the body for extra support if you want to. And we're just going to wiggle the fingers along our imaginary keyboard, moving up and down the ivories. Some of you might want to take the hands further in front of the body. Some of you might be comfortable and able to add a little sway, but keep your weight into your sit bones if you're adding a little bit of a sway. And then we're going to rest the hands down on our laps. So by now the fingers should be warming up. I'm going to move towards the front third of my chair and remove the block so that my feet are comfortably on the floor and the thighs should be at about 90 degrees from the feet. So I'm just going to Move this to the side. Come towards the front third of my chair. If you prefer to sit back for this part, that's fine. So I'm just going to curl my toes up and then curl them under. Actually, I'll sit a little bit further so you can see me more easily. Okay, so see what my feet are doing, curling the toes up and curling them under. And you can be holding onto the side of your chair, curling the toes up and curling the toes down. So ideally your feet would be on the floor. I'm just going to adjust my screen down a little. I'm just going to adjust the screen down a tiny bit. So that you can see my feet a little bit better, this section. Okay, so we've curled the toes up, we've curled the toes down. And the next movement is we're going to slide the foot forwards. I'm sitting towards the front third of my chair and slide the foot back. So we're just waking up the lower legs, improving our circulation. We're just working on our flexibility. And if you think about it, when we walk, we need to move the legs forwards and back, and you can just practice this motion while you're sitting at home. And then change the other leg, so sliding the leg forwards, sliding the leg back. So next, holding to the side of the chair, I'm just going to roll out towards the edges of my feet. And then with a little wider position in the knee, I'm going to roll the feet in. And rolling them out towards the outer edges. You might feel the stretch in the ankle area. And rolling them in. Now returning to both feet flat on the floor, knees hip width apart. So next, we're going to do some heel raises. So we'll start raising one heel and lowering it down, and then the other heel and lowering it down. So we're just coming up onto the balls of the foot, and then the other side. And as you place the foot down, I'd like you to imagine you're using as much of the underside of the foot as you can, becoming really aware of the underside of the foot. And then come up onto the other side, and as you press down, working through as much of the underside of the foot as you can. Raising the heel, and lowering. Raising the heel, and lovely. So now I'd just like you to actively press into your feet and the lower legs. So we're using our thigh muscles are pressing down, press down with the lower legs. The calf muscles are pressing down, the feet are pressing down. And just release that and stop pressing. So we're going to repeat that twice more. So pressing down, thighs, calves, feet pressing into the ground, and release. And one more time. And release. Lovely. So I'm going to sit back in my chair for a moment. We're just going to tune in to our core muscles. So I'd like you to imagine that you're wearing a tight pair of trousers. And imagine that you're doing up that internal zip of these tight pair of trousers, and the muscles are drawing in towards the centre, and they're coming in and up at the same time. And you're fastening the button at the top. And imagine all of this is coming in, up, being fastened at the top. And you might actually be able to notice the difference in how you feel in this area. But keep breathing and release. And again, you might be able to notice the difference when you've released that feeling and relax the muscles. So we're going to repeat that, doing up your internal zip, fastening the button, keep everything drawn in and out. And release. One final time. One more thing. And release. So we're now going to bend and straighten each leg. If you need to, you can hold on to the side of the chair. So we're going to lift the knee a little, bending that knee, and then extend and straighten the leg as much as you can in front of you. You're just bringing the foot parallel to the floor, not going any higher. Relax the shoulders as you do this. And bend the knee and release. If you can't lift the foot all the way, that's absolutely fine. Just do what you can. If it's just a little lift, that's fine. If you can only move it a little, and you can just do lift and lower through the toes, that's fine. Just do what you can. So we're going to try again with this side. Straightening the leg parallel to the floor. Feeling the stretching back of the leg. And bend the knee and return the foot to the floor. So one final time on this side. And bend the knee and return the foot to the floor. Lovely. So we'll change on to the side now. So you may be just lift, bending and flexing through the heel while you lift the leg. Feel the stretch at the back of the leg. Keep breathing. And then bend the knee. You can rest whenever you need to. You don't have to do as many repetitions as I do. Final time. So that's our warm-up section completed. We're now going to build up to our sun salutation. So I'm going to bring myself to the front third of my chair once more. Check your feet comfortably on the ground. So as we move through this, I'll use the screen once more. As we move through this section, there will be an element of coming forwards on your chair. So if that's not appropriate for your back, then that's fine, but try and make sure you have a neutral back when we come to that section. So we're going to start off bringing our hands into prayer position with the hands together. And if it's suitable for your wrists and your fingers, I'd like you to imagine that you're pressing through the heel of the hand, hands towards our breastbone, and the little fingers are pressing towards each other, and the tips of the index finger and the middle finger, your ring fingers, and the tips of your thumb. And then just stop pressing and relax for a moment. And we're going to repeat that. So pressing into the heel of your hand, little fingers, index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, tips of thumbs, and kiss. Now I'd like you to imagine that you're pressing the whole surface of the hands together. The shoulders relaxed, you're breathing. And stop pressing. Just rest the hands with your palms face up. You may notice a little tingling sensation and a circulation as we focus on that area. So now we're going to add our cats to our sequence, which could be the sliding hands up and the sliding hands down, which we did at the beginning of the class. Or if appropriate for your cat, you might be taking the hands out to the side and then bringing the backs hands together. So it's your choice which one you do. I'll be demonstrating the gentler version. So as we inhale, we raise the heart, slide our hands up to the legs. And you might choose to bring your shoulder blades a little closer together. Exhale, slide the hands towards the knees. Inhale, slide the hands up. Exhale, slide them away. And now we're just going to rest our arms by our sides in sitting mountain pose. So our hands are resting by our sides. Imagine that you're pressing down through your feet and you can feel those lower limbs working. Do up your core. So doing up the zip, pressing the button. Shoulders are relaxed and down. And some of you might even want to add the feeling of pulling the fingertips towards the floor, just so they're being magnetised towards the floor. That's a little bit stronger. And keep breathing. This is seated mountain pose. And release. Well done. So we're just going to repeat mountain twice more. Hands to the side, press through the feet. Rock your core. Relax the shoulders, possibly attracting the fingertips towards the floor. And release. One final time. So our next movement, we're going to come to a half forward bend. So if you are looking after backs, you may choose not to do this bit, but we want to keep a neutral spine so that there's no folding forward or folding back when we come in this movement. So we're coming from the vertical to about a 45 degrees or less angle. So we're going to check that we've got good connection with the floor. You might be holding onto the side of the chair, Or if you're more stable, you may just be resting the hands against the side of the chair. So we're going to activate those core muscles, so doing up our internal sits. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forwards from your hip flexors. Be there, breathe. And inhale, return to upright. Change a little rest. We're going to repeat that, so let's inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward through the hip crease. And inhale, come up once more. We'll repeat that one final time. Lengthen, core support, and fold forwards. Inhale, come up, well done. And now we're going to slide the foot forwards and then retrieve it. So you might be holding onto the side of the chair. We're just going to slide the foot forward, raise the toes, and slide it back. And then the other foot's turn. Slide the foot forward, raise the toes, lower the toes, and slide it back. Just working the alternate sides. And now my favourite movement within the whole sequence, which is called point. So we're just going to bring emphasis to different areas of the body. And by doing that, we're going to activate the muscles in that area. So firstly, I'd like you to bring your attention to your knees. Imagine that your knees are pressing towards a wall. And just keep pressing against this imaginary wall. And you might be able to notice the effect that this has in your muscles, particularly in your thigh muscles, possibly a little in your calves as well. And then stop pressing and rest. And then we just repeat that. So activate those knees, press them against the imaginary wall. It's a very subtle movement. And stop pressing. And final time. Press against that imaginary wall. And stop pressing. Lovely. So now we're going to bring our awareness to our chest. And again, I'd like you to imagine that you're pressing the chest against this imaginary wall. And it's literally just in front of you. And notice what effect that has on your back muscles. So we're just pressing the chest against that imaginary wall. If you have back issues, you might choose not to do this, as it can give you a slight curve in our back. So it's a very subtle little back bend. And repeat. Pressing our chest against the imaginary wall. And stop pressing. One more time. And stop pressing. Okay, so next we're moving on to our chins. And there's not really much of a movement at all. If you have neck issues, you might choose not to do this. You know your body, so a very subtle press forward with the chin. And I want you to feel as though it's giving you a long back of neck. Press the chin against the imaginary wall, long back of neck. That by drawing the chin ever so slightly. And stop pressing. Final time. Well done. Okay, so I think we'll just run through the whole sequence in its entirety once. And we're going to, if you prefer to rest, of course you can. And we're going to start off with our hands in prayer position and just press the whole of the inner edges of the hands together. And then release. And then do our seated cat. With sliding the hands up and down, the thighs for more support, or taking them wide. And then bring the backs of the hands together. And wide. Then move sitting mountain. Hands by the side of your chair, press down with the feet. Core support. Relax shoulders, fingers being attracted by the floor. And release. A half forward bend. Core support, fingers at your feet on the floor. And you may be holding the side of the chair or pressing your hands into the side of the chair. So fold forward from the hip crease, nice neutral spine. And inhale. And come up. And it's our heel slide. So let's slide the foot forward, raise the toes, lower the toes, bring the foot back. Slide the foot forward, raise the toes, lower the toes, bring the foot back. Just repeat that. It can be our point, so pressing the knees against the invisible wall, and the chest, and then the chin. Our knees, our chest, our chin, our knees, chest, chin. So we're going to practice the first part of the sit to stand, and I generally call this buttock cover. If you want to miss this out, that's fine. So we're going to hold the side of our chair, and we're going to suck our tummies in and up. And I'd like you to feel initially as though your buttocks are becoming light. So the buttocks are just starting to lift ever so subtly off of the chair, but we're not actually coming up to standing. So press strongly with the feet. You might be pressing into the side of the chair as well. And just come to that point where the buttocks are becoming light, as though something you could almost slide a ruler behind your buttocks. Just be here. And then return to your chair. And it's this initial part of the sit to stand process which is the most challenging. So we're going to repeat that twice more. So with the feet, core support. Just let those buttocks go light. And then return to sitting. Okay. So we're going to do this one final time. Pressing with the feet, tummies in and out. Let the buttocks go light. Starting to lift them a little. And return. comfortable chair. So we're going to sit back further in our chairs now. And we're going to do some eye movements. And I'll just put my block under my feet so I'm still reaching the floor correctly. So I'd like you to look far across the room to the opposite side of the room. And then bring your attention to the tip of the nose. So I'm probably going a little cross-eyed. We all are. Look to the far side of the room, and it's your eyes doing the movements. Up there. And look at the tip of the nose. Far side of the room. And the tip of the nose. And we're going to look with our eyes to the right hand side. And then to centre. And move the eyes to the left. And centre, so the head's remaining central. Once more to the right with your eyes. And centre. Once more to your left. And centre. Lovely. So we're going to look at our thumbnails. Some of you might be able to keep the arm lifted. Some of you may be supporting under the elbow. Others of you may be just resting the fist on your thigh. Whichever way you want to do this, we might want to look at a different object within your room. So we're going to be practicing fixed attention. So I'd like you to just look at your thumbnail. Look at the shape of your thumbnail. Notice all the different colours within your thumbnail. Pinks, whites, maybe even little yellowish areas. There's a lot of detail in the thumb. So now, if you can, we're going to bring our thumb into waters towards our nose and keep looking at that as we bring the thumb closer and closer. So keep focusing on that thumbnail. It will blurry at one point and then take it away. And we'll just repeat that twice more. And you can practice on the other side as well if you want to. So we're going to do a very gentle twist. If you have osteoporosis or any other sort of spinal issues, you might choose not to do a twist, and that's absolutely fine. So initially we're going to do this without arms, and then we're going to add the thumb. So let's inhale, lengthen, and turn towards your right hand side from your lower ribs, adding the shoulders, but try to keep them level. And also look round with your head, your eyes, using your peripheral vision. Just maintain that twist feeling. And slowly unturning the head, shoulders, waist. Going to go to the other side. So lengthen it first. turning. No ribs. Shoulders keeping level. Your head. Your gaze. And slowly untwist. So you can repeat that same gentle twist, or you can add an arm as well. So we're going to raise our thumb, and we're just going to keep looking at our thumb as we turn towards our right. Just keep looking at that thumb. See how far back you can take it in a comfortable position. And then we're slowly going to untwist. And lower hand. Okay, so now we're going to practice on the other side. So we lengthen up, raise the thumb, and slowly turn to the left hand side. And then untwist. We'll just rotate the shoulders a few moments. And make yourselves comfortable so you can support yourself sitting back in the chair. And I'm just going to talk you through a very gentle relaxation. You may choose to close your eyes, have a soft gaze. If you prefer to have the eyes open, then that's absolutely fine. And your hands can be on your thighs or resting in your lap with a little bit of turn in the tummy, relax shoulders. So we're going to bring our attention to our heads. Notice how your head's upright and supported by your neck, feeling light and lifted. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes, your brow. Feel as though even the hair on your head is relaxing. Let go of any tension in your shoulders, allowing the muscles to soften. Let your upper arms release downwards. Relax both lower arms. Allow your fingers to gently uncurl. Soften your back towards the support of the chair. Relax the muscles in the front of your chest. Relax your buttocks. Both thighs. Soften the backs of your calves. The front of your lower legs. the tops of your feet and the underside of both feet. Feel as though you're relaxing the whole of your body. So we're going to come out of our brief relaxation. Start moving your toes. Allow your fingers to move. Maybe have a little stretch. And you're just going to open your eyes if you're happy to. And we'll just come through prayer. Finish off. Thank you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the simple sun salutation. And that your body feels more relaxed. So take care.